I'm thrilled to be a part of this event. Thank you for inviting me to talk about thinking capital and technology. Who are we, Thinking Capital? So we help small and medium businesses to grow and realize their dream by offering them quick access to capital. We funded our first customer in 2006, and with the goal to transform the way people access capital in small and medium businesses. So since then, we funded over $500 million to small and medium businesses across Canada. Our offering is between $5K and $300,000. And through our technology platform, what's quite special is we can go through the overall application process in 24 hours and have money in our customer's bank in 24 hours. So that's quite unique. You can apply online, you can call us. We have a full omni digital experience, and you can apply anywhere at any time. So that being said, this is a reality that many companies face at some point in their growth. You're a startup, you want to grow fast, you want to grasp the market share, you've got limited resources, pressure to time to market, you want to build revenue quickly. And the platform that you've been building over the last 5 years may not be the platform that's going to bring you forward. At some point, you want to grow 10x and even maybe 100x, or get ready for that. And you need to take a decision where you have to modernize your platform to be able to sustain the growth. So this is a reality that many companies face, but the challenge is, how do you modernize your platform while maintaining the business moving forward in full throttle? That's not an easy problem, really not an easy problem. It's a little bit, there's an analogy where how do you change engines while flying the plane, without killing yourself and the passengers? So it's not an easy problem to solve. So how do we get there? Let's start first by looking at the technology platform that we are currently building. So it's a lending as a service platform, nothing new there. It's quite a common paradigm in the industry. We want to build this lending as a service platform that will allow us to build and leverage the best services in the industry, whether they're external or internal, and have the ability to integrate those services into a unified business solution. So, the core enterprise level services that we're using is the CRM, how we manage our leads and how we get to conversions and after. So we're leveraging Salesforce. How do we leverage the SaaS analytical framework that allows us to derive our risk models and allow us to price and score the customers? How we leverage the Oracle ERP from a financial back office system, and how we can also leverage that technology to manage our accounts, subledging. So how do we integrate all this into a common solution? Through orchestration. Also, we're building that service platform that will allow to create that online experience, the omni-channel, where whether you're on your mobile, on your laptop, in a bank, whatever, you create that unified experience through all those touch points. So all the services required to that intent is enabled by the technology platform. And lastly, but not least, is how do we connect with our key partners? How can we leverage their data so that we can really limit the friction in funding and create the best experience for our users? So it's quite straightforward. It's service-oriented architecture, microservice. We want to make sure the platform is open, it's API-driven, so we can connect to the inside, to the internally and to the outside. And this is really the, and not least, but it's all cloud-based. So everything we do runs on the cloud. So whether it's development, operations tool, or actually the actual solution, everything runs on the cloud. I think we have one server left for a legacy FTP server. Sorry, but other than that, everything is running on the cloud. So that was really the easy part. The challenge from a business standpoint is you've been building that solution over the last 10 years. How do you rebuild that solution in an efficient manner and migrate the company on that solution? How do you bring more than 100 business people in sales, service, accounting, underwriting on this new solution without disrupting the business while keeping the business in full throttle mode? That is really the biggest problem that we had to solve. And how do we get from this legacy, pretty monolithical solution to this service-oriented architecture was the big challenge. And what we realized is the cost of refactoring was so high that it became prohibitive. So we needed to rebuild the platform. So how do you move that solution to this new platform? There's a missing slide here. Oh, that's unfortunate. So really, the last thing you want to do is take the Champlain Bridge approach. I don't know if you guys heard about the Champlain Bridge. We're rebuilding it. And you build a new bridge, and at some point in time, you redirect, switch the traffic to the new bridge. And really, this solution was deemed not good at all. It's more like a recipe to disaster. Changing a solution that has been built over years in a business industry that is in constant evolution cannot be made into one single switch in time. So the strategy that we proposed was to really have the two platforms run at the same time. So the success criteria that we gave ourselves was we do not want to copycat the old solution. Obviously, we want to make it better. Secondly, we had to keep the two platforms running in parallel for a time that we didn't really know. We had an idea, but it would have the flexibility to have it run until we reach a point where it does meet the business requirements to run the business efficiently. And lastly, but surely, is how can we progressively migrate the business on this new solution without disrupting it? So those criteria were pretty tough to reach. And everything we looked at from a technology standpoint brought us to a dead end. So how do we refactor a given service? How do we change that approach from a technology standpoint to start enabling that new platform? So I don't know if you heard about double loop thinking. So it was not about refactoring the technology. So we had to change our view on the problem, and we looked at it from a business standpoint. So rather than refactor the technology, we decided to look at it from a business standpoint. How do we refactor the business to allow us to reach those objectives? So that was a eureka moment, because what we realized is that there was a clear, distinct segmentation between the funding activities and everything happening after the funding activities. So this allowed us to build a strategy where we would start building the platform through enabling all the funding activities. So the online application, the online presence, the eligibility service, the document service. How do we gather and manage all those documents? How do we price and score our customers? How do we manage their documents? How do we underwrite them? And how do we finally fund them? So this led to a very dramatic simplification of the problem. And this allowed us to build probably more than 75% of the new capability of the platform we wanted to build. So we've built that solution. We're now at a point where all the funding is done on the new application, the new solution, and now we're working on all the post-funding activities. So that being said, I think one very important aspect of technology is the human factor. So technologists, have the tendency to look at the world with the technology lens and how we want to change the world to make it a better place through technology, enabling all those cool and innovating things to happen. But what we did up front was very important, is how do we consider the human factor and how we build a plan on top of the technology roadmap that will allow us to manage the change and the people that are affected by the change. So we adopted the, I don't know if you heard about the Cutter change management model. It's been around for a while. So it's 8 tracks that allows you to very efficiently manage change, have this sense of purpose while we're doing this, have a clear vision, build a guiding coalition team to support the changes and promote and evangelize those changes, communicate the vision. And I couldn't say more often is communicate often, repeat and repeat that vision to the organization. Build a plan to remove obstacles, create short wins, don't declare victory too soon, and finally institutionalize those new approaches as they become successful. So the human factor, so we built this change management roadmap on top of our technology roadmap, which was very, very valuable. Oh, there's the slide about, killing yourself. It got moved. So that's funny. So this is a suicide. So you really want to make the 2 platforms operate in parallel, so it gives you all the leeway and the freedom and the agility to build that new solution in the best way for the users. There's this little guy there. He's cute. Okay. So anyway, so I forgot to remove him. So here's a graph. Here's a graph, to show value and time. So that's how we engage with the team. How do you want to bring change from the customer, from the users, to the technology and not the other way around? And, one of the best way, we are an agile organization. And the first principle of agile is how you satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So we really wanted to adopt that strategy and partner with the users to allow to build that amazing platform. So we use that little slide to engage with them. So we told them, the requirements, the value that we need to build over the next 2 years or so to be successful in our growth ambitions is the green line there. The legacy solution is what we're running the business on today. So just to show them that it's obvious that this company, Thinking Capital, could not be successful just continuing with the current technology platform. And this is the solution that we want to build, and we want to partner with them with the testable, usable, lovable approach. I don't know if you heard that before, but it's how you get your software in the hands of the user upfront, so you can really leverage their input. And we realized very importantly that we had those pre-testable, like alpha, like early show-ups, demos of the new solution, but you really engage with the users when they have to work in the real day situation with your new solution. This is where they gave us the most valuable feedback and the most important feedback to build that platform in a way that would suit their needs. So this testable milestone is very important, and you have to set expectation. When you reach and deploy that solution in their hands, it's not going to be what they're working on today. It's going to be a little bit less. But the promise is that it's going to be better very soon, and that we're going to be working together to get that platform to a usable state. So that usable state is a partnership we have with them. We want to make sure they understand the vision, where we're going, that they have all the support that we can provide them. We dedicated a full team to move as quickly as possible from testable to usable. And we reached a point today where we're funding more loans on the new platform, and they're so happy. I think we reached usable, and they're so happy that they want to move to lovable right away, and we need to slow down because we need to secure the second phase of the project. So really, it's all around bringing continuous value to the user, to the business, in a very intimate relationship with the users. So that being said, so the goal is to bring it to lovable. So that worked out extremely well. Yeah, partner with the user, training, obviously, and so on. So recommendation, as you're building that platform, keep an open architecture mindset. You always want to keep your architecture open to leverage the outside, but also open your platform to the outside so you can leverage partnership to build on your architecture. You want to keep loose coupling between your services to allow you flexibility and the ability to really refactor efficiently as the technology and the business and the industry evolves. You want to have the service provider design pattern where you're actually decoupling the implementation of a service from its interface. So, technology moves fast. If you can replace the underlying implementation while keeping the interface the same, you don't have to change the solution, and it has minimal impact on the overall approach that you can have to improve your solution. This is probably the one that resonates the most to me, is don't reinvent the wheel. Really, build and own what's core to your business and buy the rest. Like, there's so many services out there that you can leverage, whether it's KYC, identity management, and so on, and data aggregation and all these kinds of services. Leverage those and really focus on your core expertise. Introduce DevOps culture. Put developers, operations people, and business owners together in teams that are self-empowered and make them run with their ideas. And finally, never underestimate the human factor. Make it part of the overall master plan. So I really wanted to focus on people, because we all bring change through technology, but in the end, those that are affected are our customers and our users. So I think this was something we took very dearly up front, and that has proven to be extremely valuable. Time's up. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Hi, great talk. Thank you for that. You mentioned that you really believe in focus on what's core and buy the rest. How would you describe what your core competency is, and what did you outsource?
Our core competency is the business solution, the business process that we're enabling through technology. So how can we fund in 24 hours? So that's one of the very important core expertise that we have. The other one is probably the most important one, is how do we understand the small and medium business segment of the market? So we have a very deep experience and knowledge and a lot of data through those years of funding that allow us to build a very deep understanding of the industry in that segment, have very powerful risk engines that allow us to score and to price our customer with the right offer. So that is something really important and something that we're really investing in. Other than that, I think it's, as I said, the overall solution and how we bring all this together into one unified solution. Yep.
Hi, great presentation. 2 quick questions for you. One is on an overall business space. You guys were the pioneers of fintech in some way, although you started many years ago. How do you view peer or consumer to small business lending, which is now entering the marketplace, unlike your case where you're probably using your own capital? So that's question number 1. And question number 2 is, as you're going through this change management process of having 2 parallel systems working, how do you kind of work through that a new customer can land up on one of 2 streams? So from a back-end perspective and all the accounting and everything else, how do you manage that?
All right. So we were able to, our strategy is a partner strategy. So we get our leads through different channels, and we can really channel those partners on one of the given solution. So there's the Thinking Capital direct channel, which we started using to get the leads in for our application. And then gradually we were able to redirect the other channels like the CIBC channel, like the UPS channel, and gradually increase the load on the platform to tune it and make sure that it was well serving the needs of the business. So does that answer the second question? Yes, the first question is how do you see consumer?
Right now you're using your own capital to lend to small businesses.
Yeah.
There are fintechs out in the marketplace where you and I can invest money and they will adjudicate using models and actually lend to small businesses on my behalf as well.
Yeah.
How do you view that as competition?
I think I'm not so much a deep business person, but my understanding is that the market that we are targeting is, you know, when you fund $300,000, there needs to be some kind of, you know, more deep touch with the customer, and all these consumers are targeting maybe the lower value loans where they can automate a lot of things, where we're building more like a higher level market segment where we fund medium businesses. So I think the consumer solutions would have a hard time funding $300,000 loans automatically without human interventions. So we want to minimize the friction. We want to automate everything we can and get to the one-click dream. But in the end, we want to make sure that we serve our customer in the best way and that we offer the best product to them. And I'm not sure if those solutions would offer that. Yes.
Merci, Jean-Luc.
Bienvenue.
My question is about your analytics. I'm curious to know what it is about your analytics engine that sets you apart from other companies funding small businesses and what allows you to do in such a short time.
I think it's the risk model that we've built over the years. The models have been there for a long time. We learn through success and failures, and we've been running those models, and they actually learn to be successful in time, not at the beginning. So this is something quite proprietary, if I may say. And all the data, like we have a lot of data that we can use to train the models. You know, all these funding transactions, how successful they were, and how we can use that to really train the models and make sure that they give us the right output, the right pricing and scoring for the products that we're offering.